3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Now it's time to meet our hostess.
As journalists, we tell stories every day.
Flyers were hosting the Rangers in South Philly.
But some stories change a reporter's life.
14-year-old Cameron Hurwitz placed third in this year's state bowling tournament.
I didn't know it at the time, but this one was mine. About 5 years ago, I was working in Rochester, New York, and was sent to do a story on Cameron Hurwitz.
It was kind of rough, I have to say.
Cameron was a high school bowler, and his life was saved because of a bone marrow donation.
Couldn't go to school any longer. I had no immune system.
It was the first I had ever even heard of Be the Match, but Cameron's story made an impact, so I took 2 minutes and signed up, not thinking I would ever get a call. Fast forward to this past October, and a text message changed everything. I was a match, a man I had never met, and this complete stranger needed my help to save his life. Naturally, my friends and family were curious. The number one question: what exactly is Be the Match?
What we do is we help patients who have blood cancers and disorders, such as leukemia, lymphoma, and sickle cell, just to name a few. For these patients, the only known cure typically is to find a matching marrow or stem cell donor. We try our best to add more people to the registry to hopefully be that life-saving donor match for our searching patients.
But finding a match is harder than it sounds. To register, a simple and painless cheek swab. But that swab contains genetic makeup, including genes called HLA markers. Unfortunately, this causes a racial disparity in successful bone marrow transplants. A Caucasian patient has a 79% chance of finding a match. Meanwhile, Black patients have just a 29% chance. And biracial people, like myself, have even less of a shot because there isn't enough diversity in the database.
Your donor is most likely going to be somebody of a similar ethnic background because these HLA markers are inherited. If there are less Black individuals, Hispanic individuals, Asian individuals on the registry, those patients of those backgrounds are going to have a much less chance of finding a match, unfortunately. So a lot of people don't know about Be the Match unless they know somebody who has been directly affected by a blood cancer disorder. So again, that's, our job to go out, educate, let people know.
I made the commitment to be part of the solution. And contrary to popular belief, giving bone marrow isn't that taxing. About 80% of the time, a traditional bone marrow donation is not required. Instead, most donors, like me, do a PBSC, a peripheral blood stem cell donation. After a few blood tests to make sure I was healthy enough, I had a few days' worth of injections to stimulate white blood cell and stem cell production. Then I was off to Georgetown University Hospital in Washington, D.C. They're one of Be the Match's flagship hospitals.
I am a match to a man that I've never met, but he needs my help, and hopefully he can have an extra 20 or 30 or 40 years of his life.
The morning of donation, I came in for my final injection and then was hooked up to a machine that filtered my blood. It took the needed plasma and stem cells out and returned the rest back into my body. To be honest, it was boring, in a good way. 4.5 hours in a bed, binge watching shows, hanging out with nurses, and then I was finished, and there was no downtime. I was able to come home to Philly immediately after and appear on Fox 29 the very next day.
Philly's playing the Mets tonight.
I won't be able to meet my patient for a while because of confidentiality rules, but I did have a chance to speak with Amanda Hathaway, a Langhorne resident who was on the receiving end of a PBSC transplant.
They told me they found a 26-year-old female in the United States, and she's gonna donate to me, and I still get emotional about it.
Donating is zero cost to the donor and was truly one of the easiest medical procedures I ever had. But it makes all the difference in the world for people like Amanda, who wouldn't survive without it.
If it wasn't for Be the Match, I wouldn't be alive today. And I feel like a lot of people don't. And if they do, they would sign up because it's not a hard process for anybody to donate or to receive. It's just saving lives and saving somebody's life like me, 30 years old, had a kid, and he was traumatized when I was thick and bald and had cancer. Like, he kind of knew what was going on, but he says to me all the time now, "Mommy, you're all better, right?" I'm like, "Yes, someone saved my life."